Welcome to another episode of I Quit My Job, where ordinary individuals take that leap of faith and then they go on to do something extraordinary. Today's guest is Ian, the financial fighter, no other than the financial fighter. And he's been on the show before, like I said, he's into the finances. He's an educator. He's also a speaker, all that has to do with financial services. Prior to this, he came on about a year and a half ago, spoke about his traditional path into the whole corporate world. And then nepotism hit him. And so there's a couple other things that made him say, hey, it's time for me to go on my own. And so now 2 years, while becoming, let's see what he's been up to. Thank you so much, brother.
Yes, brother.
Thank you for
showing
up. You know what I mean? I love the fact that we get to chop it up one more time.
No doubt. Yeah, it's been tough times. The economy where it is, the world where it is, psychologically for a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a tough go. And what's come out of that is the passion to want to keep going. It's like the first time, you blow a layup, you keep blowing a layup,
You're gonna hear
and you're
sup.
like, correct. And all of a sudden, you just keep practicing. You keep practicing.
Keep practicing.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm practicing. I'm going back to my roots. Well, at least I see a lot of social media content out there with a lot of marketing companies looking to get new customers for you. But for me, I want to go back to my roots, back to the people who started with me, touching base with those people. Because, as your database of people grows, sometimes your connection lessens. And I want to reconnect. I remember, in the past, I did a client appreciation.
Oh, nice. So these are things you've not done. So you're just
right, and I want to get back to those roots.
Nice,
right?
Nice.
I've never been a fan of just following what traditionally you're supposed to do as a financial advisor.
Right.
And I want to bring my own flavor into it.
What has been like some of the major challenges that you faced in your, working while becoming that financial planner that you wanted to be in the last 2 years, and helping people erase their debts?
My focus is always debt.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's very easy to get credit cards, loans, lines of credit, and psychologically you want to know you're in a place that you're going to pay this off at some point in time, but then life happens.
Right.
Life happens,
life happens all the time.
And when I say life happens, you lose a job, you break up with someone,
yes.
You're ill, your debts start to pile up.
Right.
And this is a big burden on, people trying to move forward in life.
Right.
Because a big chunk of their pay is not only going to taxes, but it's also going to debt. And what you have left over, it's very hard now to, possibly go after your dreams, your aspirations, because there's a big block there.
So you've some of your stats, it says you've erased $10 million worth of your clients' debt. That's like a great achievement still, you know what I mean?
Yes,
just to give somebody their financial freedom. What has been the motivation to continue to do that? Is it the feel you see when they get their debts eliminated?
Well, I'm going to go off topic for a little bit to answer that question. Great
Please
question.
do.
I had some clients that lent money to a builder and contracted through law and lent money to the builder, and the builder was supposed to pay them back that money with interest after a certain time. That certain time came, and the builder didn't pay back the money. You had now these group of investors who now start to get uneasy, very uneasy, because they don't know what's happening with their money. Lawyers get involved. The builder has their lawyers. The group of people have their lawyers. You're having to pay for the lawyer services, which isn't cheap.
Right.
And it just seemed like years were piling on. So here are these clients under contracted law. They were supposed to get back the money that they invested plus interest. The laws in Canada is holding up this money from them getting it back right away. Long story short, I went into the builder's office. I went into the builder's office that day to let them know this is not how it's going down.
No communication, no meetings?
Zero. I'm going into the office. I'm going into the office, and we're going to chit-chat. Right? I'm not going in there like a wild madman, like a crazy dude. But I'm going in there with the authority that this is what's happened. These are the facts. They need to speak to the owner. We sit down, and I basically let them know it's under contract.
Right.
These people lent you money
Right.
for you to go out and build
Mhm.
and make money.
Yes.
And now they're looking for that money back. They did their due diligence. Now you have to do your due diligence.
Right.
Give them back
Right.
that money
Right.
plus interest.
Right.
Long story short, coming out of that meeting, they agreed to work with me. A year and a half after that,
Mhm.
that my clients got back their money.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. Good job.
Yes,
Naveen.
bro. Just going in there and doing what, my name says I'm going to do.
Right.
Fight for
Right.
clients.
That's amazing. So you're speaking now. Over the last 2 years, you're doing a lot more public speaking.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what have you found out more that people need in terms of financial literacy when you're speaking to them?
Oh my gosh, that's great. There's many things
There's many
that
things,
I
eh?
look at. A lot of people think it's okay to save in a bank account,
Mm.
right? They put a lot of money in a bank account. People look at the big institutions as safe, conservative.
Right.
They're going to do
right.
the best for me.
Right.
They're going to educate me, right? And that's not the case.
Right. What does a journey look like when everything kind of settles and you're in your groove now? What does a journey look like?
Yeah, the journey, it's a process because I'm still working on my goals and aspirations,
Mhm.
right? It's a continual process.
Right.
The journey, I really didn't know what the journey was going to look like. I just knew I had this fire in my belly that was just like, corporate Canada isn't for you,
Right. Right.
right? Everything about corporate Canada, made me feel like I'll never get a job.
Right.
First of all, I'm not a dude that, really likes to get up early in the morning.
No,
I'm
eh?
not getting up at 6 a.m. 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. And when I go for a lunch break, I want to go for a break. I don't want to be under the
No timelines.
no
I know.
timelines,
I know. I
right?
respect that. What was the biggest reality check in your momentum that nobody talks about?
Yeah, I think it's the tough days when people are looking at successful people.
Mm.
They're just seeing the success. They're not seeing all
Work.
the burdens, the trials, tribulations, the
new age-
letdowns.
new age.
They're not showing you, some days you're just tired. You don't want to get out of bed, right? But you got to get out of bed, but you don't want to get out of bed,
Isn't that amazing?
right?
Willpower to get yourself out of bed.
Right. The willpower to show up,
Yes. To
right?
show
To
up.
show up when you don't want to show up, but you still show up. The hunger to be what I feel is a successful business person is the will to get hit,
Balance.
keep coming,
Keep coming.
keep coming.
But you're also very energized, man. What's the mindset? Ian, energized, laughing loud, moving. You know what I mean? Always on the move. What is the mindset to have that kind of energy to move forward when things are down?
The mindset is if I don't have the energy, right, I'm gonna end up in an institution,
Right.
right? There's choices here, right? I can look at it, glass half full or half empty.
Right.
I choose to look at it half full. I feel that's, benefited me. Trying to be uplifting, not only for, myself, for my community. Right?
Right.
And that
Right.
gives me power. That gives
Right.
me that alone gives me sitting down here with you and doing this,
Right.
chit chat and
Right.
chopping it up. Yeah, that's an energy. I like that. I like
nice.
that.
How do you go about helping people? Because you're helping me by showing up here. That's what I meant to say. You're helping me by showing up. You're helping my business. But you're also running a business because there could be some marketing angle in this for you. You're sharing your stories to get out there. How do you manage your mission to keep everything intact?
For me personally, it's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe, right? I don't have analytics in my mind that that says when slowly says, hey Ian, I want you to come by. I don't have analytics that's gonna be what's the cost here?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
What's my time?
Right.
I'm just looking at it, I'm going to go by, slowly we're gonna chop it up. I'm gonna have a good time there in the time that we're there.
Nice.
And oh, by the way, we're gonna do some work.
You're going to do some work.
And it really doesn't
Yes.
even feel like work.
Right.
You mean, what you asked me earlier, what are some of the things that I've learned? That would be one of them as well, right? I want to work, but I don't want it to feel like work. I would like there to be a flow of things that I enjoy doing and I want to do more of.
Right. What kind of moment made you stop and think, is this really what I want to do?
I've questioned.
Yes. And
For
when you
sure.
say question, what do you question?
For sure. And you question those times during tough times in your business. For
Right.
sure.
Of course.
Right. So
Yes.
definitely, when the builders weren't paying back, I definitely questioned, right? Because no one ever talks about the dirty in finance.
Right.
It's always the good.
Right. And the dirty
Right.
could be what?
And the dirty was this was a good example of
Right. The
you know, the
construction.
builder
Okay.
not paying back the clients, the negative
Right.
emotions that it has.
Right.
Right. Not only for the clients not receiving what they supposed to get back,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, me as an advisor, because I advised them. So now what happens?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I know in the past, a lot of times advisors will go silent or they'll run or
Right,
the
you know.
pressure is tough.
So what about like an individual, ordinary individual that has the house and like debts are up to their ears, and then they have to refinance? Have you seen some like horror stories, like they've lost their house? What advice would you give somebody in that situation?
Well, it's you just can't give them advice.
You can't.
You
Okay.
you got to hold their hand now. You got to literally you got to hold their hand. You got to be like a financial trainer,
Right.
and they got to change the way they look at money.
Right. Okay.
And that's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
That's why I say you got to hold their hand,
Right.
because it may take up to a year, 2 years for them to change the way they looked at money. There are people who are very conservative. They don't want to take any risk, any chances, and they sleep better at night doing that.
Right,
And you don't
right.
have to allow that and work with them and try and find the best solution based on how they move with money and go from there.
Right. So you teach clients how to take care of their monies and stuff like that. How do you block out the noise in your head to take care of the things that you need to be focused on?
Great question. So I don't listen to the noise. It's conservative companies where their
right.
money is going to grow. So whatever's happening in the news, we're not listening to that because we've invested into good companies.
Right.
Right? We're not investing into the noise. The noise is always going to be there, always going to be there.
Right. So I'm feeling stuck financially right now, and I'm looking at you and like, I want to go to Ian. Like, what are the first 3 steps they take to come before they come to Ian?
I wouldn't take any steps before to pick up the phone.
Just pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone. Let's chit chat. Let's chop it up the same way we're doing right now.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
Talking is free. I'm not charging for talking. And these are some of the ways that, you know, I'm trying to be different than, you know, other advisors or institutions. You know, my phone is 24 hours, 7 days a week, bro, to be honest with you. I'm a
Right.
late night owl. So, you know, I get calls at 10:30.
It shows, you know.
Yeah,
it shows. It shows. It shows a lot, you know, because you're in the community. You're also doing the social justice side of the community. You're in the jails.
Yes.
You're giving information that's very relevant and that's needed for individuals that are stuck. So you become like a full community partner. You also, you know, you sit on the board of like some of those charities
Yeah.
that you spoke about. That's amazing, man. Like how does someone within that dream of yours to become that entrepreneur have these outside interests that keeps you focused?
Good question. I mean, I'm doing things that, again, I enjoy.
Right.
Right. I've always been one to like want to give back. Actually, in the place that we're in right now, St.
Right.
Matthews, this
Right.
is where I grew up.
Nice.
Right. I used to go to a day camp that was out of here every summer. And I remember 2 counselors, you know, teenager boys older
Right.
than, but they like poured into the younger dudes,
Oh,
you know, and it
nice,
was like, it was
nice,
dope
nice.
because I didn't grow up with like brothers or sisters. I was an only child. So that was dope to have these guys, you know, pouring back
Oh,
in.
nice.
So that set me on my stage to, you know, always want to do the same thing, you know, and give back.
Oh,
and-
that's amazing, bro.
yeah, my money is spent here in Toronto, and I want it to be spent where I want it to be spent,
Amazing.
and not have media tell me where I should be going or what I should be doing or how I
Right.
should be acting.
Right.
Hence why I'm an entrepreneur.
It's not easy, but what we got to do is continue to push and keep pushing, you know. And some days you don't want to push.
Correct.
And it shouldn't be about pushing. When it's about pushing like that, then you just got to revamp and look at your business or look at how you're
said.
doing it.
Whoa.
And then kind of like start
That's
fresh.
well
You know, I
said.
go through it all the time, brother.
Yeah.
What's next in the line of everything that you're doing?
I think we spoke about it early. Next in the line is going back to my roots.
Going back
Like
to your
I
roots.
said, and going back to the clients that, you know, I started off with, reconnecting with people, doing creative things for the community. I have a lot of aspirations in regards to, you know, getting back to those roots.
Nice.
Yeah, reconnecting. And when I say
Reconnecting.
reconnecting, not through AI,
Right, of course.
not
of course.
through AI.
You got to build a community.
Picking
you know?
up the phone, collaborate, Don't compete. Collaborate.
Collaborate.
The pie is big enough for everybody.
Everybody, you just got to work together and let's get it done. Anything else you want to say, big man?
No, brothers. Thanks again for,
This one is
having
nice.
me on.
Nice. This is nice.
Thanks again for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be here in the studio with you, chopping it up.
Yeah,
You're doing
it's
really
always-
good things.
Thank you,
You're
brother.
doing good things in the community.